Oh, it's because you don't like women? Ugh.
Look at this. Let me just say, I had so much fun watching Hellboy the Crooked Man. So much fun. So much fun. Is it like big, flashy, and bombastic, and whatever, and you know, with cool, crazy creatures and stuff like that, like the Del Toro movies? Not to that extent, no. But what it does do is really give an indie horror film experience that you can tell was made on a very tight budget. And from my experience of being a fan of indie horror as a whole, when I see indie horror directors work under the constraints of a smaller budget, their creativity gets elevated to a level that it would not be elevated if you had the freedom of $300 million in your pocket. Because if you have $300 million in your pocket, you're making that movie from the attitude of, we've got it, we've got everything we need. You're not coming from the attitude of, fuck, how are we gonna do this? You know? And then you have to brainstorm with everybody that you're working with to creatively come up with ways to make it work. That's exactly what happened in this movie. I feel like the creative team as a whole really came together and put together a story that was fascinating. There's a lot of inventive imagery in this movie. There really is. I know like some like sycophantic assholes on the internet will be like, no there wasn't, it's such trash, garbage. Everyone from Brian Taylor, the director, to Jack Kesey, who's playing the new Hellboy, I feel like they are operating on all cylinders. I think that they executed a very effective story. The horror elements were very, very apparent and very effective. The sound design was great. The visuals were very compelling. Was the CGI terrible? Absolutely. But that's okay. I don't need a CGI-heavy Hellboy. I'm seeing so many people on the internet shit on this movie simply based on the fact that Guillermo del Toro has no involvement. But you want to know who does have involvement? The Hellboy creator. And this is the story that he wanted to tell with Brian Taylor. And I think that they've really done an incredible job. I think that this movie is a really good stepping stone for them to move forward and potentially build upon making Hellboy in this way, in a very, you know, guerrilla style, fucking hard edge, low budget, small horror odyssey that they've created with Hellboy the Crooked Man. As far as the Crooked Man himself in the movie, the actual villain, he creeped me the fuck out. Every scene that the Crooked Man is in is effective, or at least was effective to me in really convincing me that he was a very formidable character and that they had to work pretty hard to be able to take him down, because he was not only able to attack them physically, but he was able to attack them mentally, psychologically. There's a lot of conversation and exploration with witchcraft and the occult. And when you're talking indie horror with me, I mean witchcraft and the occult, that's my jam. So moral of the story is, Hellboy the Crooked Man really, really hit every avenue with me of what interests me about indie horror. And it really reminded me of the old Evil Dead movies. If you read the Evil Dead Companion, you learn a lot about the process with Sam Raimi and Rob Tappert and the struggle of them putting together that first movie. And once they made it, and then it had its cult-like success, they were able to then get more money to do Evil Dead 2, which is basically a remake of Evil Dead 1. So to me, it just goes to show, when you do a lot with a little, it pays off later when you're able to really be able to do what you really wanted to do with a little bit more money. Go out and see this movie. You can watch it from your couch. See you in the next one. Bye-bye.